Hi, I'm Joseph Patrick, co-founder of Lamont Brothers. And in today's video, we're going to discuss how scratch-resistant 3 different types of flooring are. We've got a solid maple hardwood that's got a pre-finished coating on top of it. We have a luxury vinyl plank, and we have a laminate flooring. And we discuss all the time with different clients what flooring is best for them. And one of the key considerations, if you have pets or kids, is scratch resistance. So today we're going to run some tests. I've got some tools. I've got a 4-pound sledgehammer. I have a cat's paw. This is normally used to pull nails, but it's got some sharp pointy things on each end, and that's going to test some scratching. And then I have a pipe wrench. I also have a big rock, and we'll see if we use that. All right, we're going to start out with the cat's paw, and the key ingredient here in each of these tests is I'm going to make the motions and the weights of the item the same on each of the floorings. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to run it across the flooring. I'm going to apply a minimum amount of pressure on the top to see which one scratches the best. So we'll start with the maple. So I'm using the part of the cat's paw. It's not a super sharp edge, but it's a very good, I think, example of if you have a piece of furniture or something that's got a sharp edge. You can see here I've definitely scratched the finish, and I have indented the wood, because even though maple is a really hard wood, wood inherently is soft, a lot softer than metal, and so I have scratched it right there on that board, and you can see that color difference. Let's try the LVP. Same motion, same weight. I don't see any scratching at all. Yeah, I don't see any scratching at all on the luxury vinyl plank from the cat's paw. Let's try the laminate. Again, I don't see any scratching. Let's hold it up in the light, see if we can see anything there. I see a little bit of scratching in the light. You're not going to be able to see this in the video, but there's just a little bit of a scratch that I can't seem to rub out. And in the LVP, let me hold that up in the light, I see the same, a little bit of a scratch that I can't rub out, but if I look directly at it, I can't see it at all. I have to see it kind of glinting in the light. And it's not a scratch that goes into the surface the way the hardwood was. Let's try the 4-pound sledge. I'm curious how this is going to impact the flooring, really the density of the product, whether it can compress is what we're going to be testing. And I'm just going to drop the sledge from about 6 inches off. And, maple's a really hard wood. There's no indentation there. Let's try it on the LVP. It bounced up a little bit, but again, no indentation there. And no indentation in the laminate. So that's something that, especially if you have kids, that's going to happen a lot. They're going to drop 4-pound items all the time on your floor. Good news is it's not going to harm the floor, whatever flooring you use. Let's take a look at the pipe wrench. This is a little bit heavier. It's a little bit sharper than the cat's paw on the edge. We're going to do the same motion we did earlier. So it's sharper, it's a little bit, and it definitely scratched the wood. Both times I ran it across, it scratched it significantly because we've got a really sharp corner right here. Let's try the LVP. Okay. We definitely can see that. It looks like it cut that top layer that's the graphic because it's significantly sharper than the cat's paw right on the corner of the pipe wrench. So if you've got something that's sharp and you're running it across the LVP, that could definitely damage it. Whereas with the cat's paw, it was dull enough, it didn't really cut. So that's really the difference. Let's check out the laminate. Again, the laminate, it cut through a little bit of the paper. Let's look at these a little bit more closely. So you can see in the light, there's the scratch there, and it's because the pipe wrench was sharp right on the corner. and then compare that with the LVP, where to my fingers, the LVP feels deeper or like it's scratched more, but you can see both about the same. They're about the same when I'm looking at them. All right, and now I have a big rock. What I'm gonna do, this is a little bit of a mossy rock, so I'm not gonna use the mossy side. I'm gonna drag it on the corner to kind of see, you know, if I was gonna drag a piece of furniture or something over a floor, what would that do? This is not super light, but it's not a super heavy rock. It's maybe 10 pounds. So I'm gonna tilt it up on one corner and just drag that corner. Wow, that is quite the scratch. Check that out. That really damaged the finish here. It definitely went deeper than the finish a little bit, did a little bit of an indentation. More so, about the same as the cat's paw, but it was just rougher and sharper, and so it made a really big scratch. Let's try the LVP. Same corner, I'm not pushing down on this rock, I'm just dragging it across. Okay, a little bit of dirt there. Let's rub it off so we can see. Yeah, it made a significant scratch. I would say we've got, you know, it cut a little bit because it's a little sharp. Plus, it weighed so much, it did indent the vinyl a little bit. Much better than the wood, but let's see how this works on the laminate. I'm going to drag it across. Wow. That performed significantly better. Let me do it. I don't see a scratch there. I'm looking at in the light and I do not see a scratch. Let's try it one more time in case my angle was barely off. I did it again, and in the light I can barely see a little bit of a scratch. In the light, I can barely see a little bit of a scratch, but nowhere near as bad as either the LVP or the vinyl. So if you look at that, you can just barely see a scratch. But if I'm looking right on, if I'm looking right square to the floor, I can't see a scratch at all on the laminate. So what this tells us is that it gives us an idea of the weaknesses of each of these floorings. With a hard wood, even a maple, which is a very hard wood, it tends to scratch with any of the instruments we used. So kind of a dull, pointed surface, a sharp pointed surface. It didn't really get damaged by an impact of the 4-pound sledge, but definitely got damaged by the rock. So it's probably the weakest. The LVP, what we realized here is, you know, it passed the 4-pound sledge test, was not damaged much by the dull pointed object because it didn't weigh that much. But when we had a very sharp object, or we had a combination of weight and sharp object getting dragged, or pointed object getting dragged, that's where we damaged the LVP. The laminate held up the best through all of them. The main weakness was that really sharp edge on the corner of the pipe wrench. The really sharp edge on the corner of the pipe wrench. So when we dragged this pipe wrench across, that corner damaged the laminate right here, and that's the main damage that happened to the laminate. The laminate passed every other test. So if you're looking for a scratch-resistant flooring, yeah, I would probably rank them. The hardwood is going to be the worst, but it's also going to be one of the easiest to repair, depending on what type of finish you have on it. Then your vinyl is going to scratch more than the laminate, but less than your hardwood. And the laminate is, in general, the best scratch-resistant flooring, but what you have to consider is the weakness there is really sharp objects. That's when it's going to scratch. So if you have dogs, I'd recommend you do a laminate over a wood or an LVP, but keep those dogs' toenails not sharp, and you're going to end up with much, much fewer scratches on the flooring. So in conclusion, we've looked at 3 different types of flooring. We've looked at a hardwood, we've looked at an LVP, and we've looked at a laminate, and really determined your laminate is the most scratch resistant, your hardwood is the least scratch resistant. For more information about home remodeling, the process, the costs, decisions you need to make, check out our YouTube channel and subscribe. Thank you.